Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Happy Friday and happy holiday to everyone.
Oh, long weekend for
reminder, just as short reminder, the actual holiday was on Wednesday. But to accommodate holiday economics, because there's another holiday on Monday, which will be National Heroes Day. In August 21 holiday, ginawa pong today.
Yes.
So Ninoy Aquino Day, di ba?
Yes.
Oo.
So, yeah, and then a lot happened yesterday.
Right after brunch, ang balita
Actually, di
po,
ba, we broke the story here
Yes.
nasa custodian ng
Custody,
Indonesian
but more developments came
authority.
in and they arrived here sa Ninoy Aquino.
Sino ang nasa,
Let them watch the program. Let them watch the program.
Di, alam naman na nila yan, di ba? Si Sheila Lial Go,
And si
allegedly
Cassandra
sister ni Alice Go, and of course, si Cassandra Ong.
Cassandra Ong.
Representative ng Whirlwind or Lucky South 99.
Lucky South 99. And we're joined today by Buddha's Belly, of course, our partner in food every Friday. What do we have, Angel?
We have Singaporean noodles or Singaporean bihon. We have egg rice, mashed potatoes with sausages, tofu, and beef.
Spare
ribs.
And of course, may nakatago tayong
with
hakaw.
tausi.
Kasi favorite ni Angel.
Thanks, Margarita, ng
Okay.
Buddha's Belly.
Alright.
And later then on the show, abangan nyo,
We have a special
nagbabalik
guest.
po ang brunch break and we have a special guest.
Very special guest na. Once in a lifetime mo lang makakausap.
Yes.
Abangan nyo kung sino yan. But before anything else, we're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch.
Jumping first to our countdown is about Carlos Yulo. The two-time Olympic gold medalist bagged another cash reward. This time, it's from Signal TV chairman and CEO Manny V. Pangilinan. The sports patron gifted Yulo 10 million pesos for his historic achievement in the 2024 Paris Olympics. The gymnast coaching staff will also receive 5 million pesos from MVP. Yulo credited MVP as one of the people who helped him in his training for the Summer Games. The Golden Boy will go back to his preparations for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. Aside from another Olympic gold medal, Yulo aims to create a gymnastics movie that will be named after him. Move. That will be named after him. Okay. Move.
Kailangan ko rin po mag-explore kasi very not sustainable po kasi yung mga ganang bagay din. Kasi hindi siya palagi nako-compete po eh. And kailangan unique din po yung may pakita akong skill. So yeah, tatry ko po.
Kasi there are certain moves na may difficulty level, 'di ba? And may ibang moves si Yulo kasi that are unique na walang difficulty level naka-assign. So that's why he hopes to develop that now, but hopefully makita na mga
The Yulo effect or the Yulo move or whatever.
The Yulo twist. The Yulo twist. Anyway, if he develops it now in time for the World Gymnastics competition, and the judges will see that and they may assign a difficulty level, hopefully it will be part of the Olympics. The Yulo move, the Yulo twist, whatever you may call it.
At
the Golden Boy twist.
Pwede rin, di ba? At syempre yung kanyang mga prizes ay hindi pa rin tumitigil.
10 million from
10
MVP.
million from MVP and MVP
and coaching staff.
Reiterated dun sa interview yesterday na sinabi nila hindi sila nag-give up kay Yulo even before na kahit hindi siya naka-gold last time the Tokyo Olympics ay they continued
believing in him.
They supported him
Right.
pa rin. Okay, sige, let's continue with our countdown. Next in our countdown, more athletes meet President Bongbong Marcos as part of their heroes' welcome. The Olympians in the ceremony consisted of Dottie Ardina, Alea Cruz Finnegan, Emma Malabuyo, and Levi Ruvivivar. Each of them received cash incentives worth 2 million pesos from the Office of the President and PAGCOR. Marcos also awarded a presidential citation to the athletes, lauding the ideals of excellence they have shown. Congratulations. Finally, nagkita-kita na sila because of the controversy. Nag-issue na rin ng public apology itong si Gymnastic Association of the Philippines President about the confusion.
Wala nang tampuhan.
Wala nang tampuhan.
Alright, let's move on. Ranking 8th in our countdown, 23 Filipino crew members are safe after Houthi rebels attacked their oil tanker in Yemen. The Migrant Workers Department reported that all 25 crew members of MT Suinion, including 23 Filipinos, were rescued by the European Union naval mission. The tanker was attacked by suspected Houthi rebels while cruising Yemen's port city of Hodeida on Wednesday. Migrant Workers Secretary Hans Kakdak said all Filipino seafarers were advised to return home. All right.
So hopefully we can get in touch with Secretary Hans Kakdak.
We're actually supposed to talk to him right now, but unfortunately, our lines are unstable, but we'll get right to it. But we have to talk about this because we've been discussing also about the possibility of totally banning Filipino seafarers from flying this route. It's because right now they have an option to fly this route, but they have what we call a hazard pay. And may waiver, they sign waivers that they know that the dangers that will come with this route, but they waive all liability except may additional pay sila.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. To get more information about this, we have with us Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak.
Good morning, Secretary.
Yes, good morning, Ms. Angela, Sir Diego, to your televiewers. Good morning.
Yeah, thanks for joining us again. Let's get right to it. Are the seafarers requesting for repatriation?
Yes. Right now, the 23 Filipino seafarers from the Sunium have indeed been rescued and are being transported to safer port. And yes, upon arrival in that safe port, they will go through some protocols. All of them are safe. There have been no reports of major nor minor injuries. And yes, very soon their repatriation will be arranged.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yes, Secretary. Of course, their families are asking, and even the seafarers are wondering now what kind of assistance will they get from the Philippine government once they get home, and is there an option for them to return back to work as soon as everything is cleared?
Yes, of course, we are in communication with the families as well, and there will be provided assistance, financial assistance as soon as they come home. And also, there will be a whole-of-government team as directed by the President, so the DOH will be there to provide a basic medical checkup upon arrival. And also there will be psychosocial counseling with perhaps some of them may have still some trauma or anxieties with the experience that they went through. And also the DSWD will be there. Our social workers from the DSWD will be there to provide financial assistance and possible other forms of assistance. And yes, the DMW OWA will be there to provide assistance.
Aside po dito sa nabanggit po ninyo, meron po ba silang interes na makabalik sa kanilang trabaho pa rin?
Yes, of course. The ship owner and the license planning agency here in the Philippines could very well arrange for their reassignments. They had faithfully served their company, their ship owner, all throughout this ordeal, and it's only fitting that they will be given more opportunities to serve, and that's the biggest reward that can be given to them, actually. And all it takes is just to spend time with their families, given what has happened. And as soon as they have spent time with their families, hug their loved ones, and be with their children, then it will be time to set sail once again. And then we're confident that their shipping company, their ship owner, will take them in again.
Yes, Secretary, I'd like to ask now, this has been an ongoing thing since the conflict broke out between Israel. I'm asking, is it part of a discussion right now to ban our seafarers from flying these routes that are tagged unsafe, or we will continue to allow them pending that they sign their appropriate waivers?
Well, right now the policy, first and foremost, is we have long directed since December and February ship owners carrying Filipino seafarers traversing that route to divert their routes. And indeed, 70% have responded to the call. For example, all ships, Japanese ships carrying Filipino seafarers no longer pass through the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, and we're very thankful. However, there are still ships and seafarers who exercise their freedom to navigate. There indeed is still the right to refuse sailing, and around 122 seafarers have exercised their right to refuse sailing. But the ship owners, together with their seafarers, still jointly, during times when the ships indeed pass through the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, to agree to exercise their freedom to navigate. And if they do, then there are security requirements coming from the DMW, such as there should be security escorts and armed guards and risk assessments. And we also have a selective prohibition approach, meaning to say those ship owners whose ships have already been attacked at the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden will no longer henceforth be allowed to board Filipinos on ships that fly that same dangerous route. So in the case, for instance, of the MT Sunium ship owner, we will no longer allow Filipino seafarers to board their ships that fly the route, that navigate the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden route.
Yes, Secretary Hans, you mentioned that, of course, may right also yung mga ibang Filipinos, if they do choose to still fly that route. But are they still covered by insurance or extra hazard pay if they do decide to?
Yes, they are.
They are.
They are. We don't highlight this as much, but they are in terms of double their salary and entitlements, and in the event of death or disability, double compensation as well. But we tend not to highlight that part. These are hazard pay arrangements that are common to all forms of employment, right? Even in ordinary lines of work, such as us in government and in the private sector, meron talagang hazard pay. So that's the hazard pay component of all of this. But we're not emphasizing that because obviously the lives of seafarers are at stake.
That's
and
right.
Therefore, we have the policy which I had just elaborated.
And just to clarify lang po, Secretary, kailan po yung target date of arrival nitong Filipino seafarers natin?
Wala pa tayong target date. We are still, of course, coordinating with the ship owner and with the licensed planning agency here in the Philippines. We know it will be sooner rather than later, that's for sure. It's just a matter of time of determining their flight schedules. When they arrive at that safe port, there will just be some medical and other protocols, the usual standard protocols, although we know that nobody incurred major nor minor injuries. And then thereafter, their flights will be carefully arranged.
Right. With that, we will just be continue to update with you, get in touch with you rather para po sa iba pang mga detalye tungkol po dito. But for the meantime, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. That was Secretary Hans Cacda.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. God bless.
All right, coming up, Vice President Sara Duterte denies allegations that her book, Isang Kaibigan, was plagiarized.
And Alice Guo's two companions who were caught in Indonesia are now under the custody of the NBI.
We are just getting started, mga kapatid. More of our top 10 news when Brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching Brunch here on One News.
Welcome back. And of course, it's a Buddha's Belly Friday. It's a holiday.
Ang sarap nung Singaporean noodles.
It's a holiday, and of course, we're eating.
Yes.
Like there's no tomorrow.
Good morning, Alex Fuentes, Ronald Maxtay, Mark Santiago, Oscar, and Gary Co, Daisy, and Tito Naldi Canchoy.
Ito, we have also a message from Ralph Domingo. Guo Ong arrest should be the #1 headline on the Brunch.
Tama kaya si Ralph?
Ralph, let's see if you're correct again this time. You were correct the other time. Oo. So, kung perfect record
Mix
si
and
Ralph.
Bron.
Mix and Bron, good morning. Vlad, good morning. All our
Some
viewers.
Pokemon Go and Garfield.
Ito. Si Alex Fuentes nagpadala ng stickers niya.
Yes, of
Alright,
course.
let's move on.
Coming in at our seventh spot, the number of dengue cases in Metro Manila has dropped this year. The Health Department logs over 6,500 cases in the first 6 months of 2024, lower than around 7,800 last year. Most cases in the region came from Quezon City, with 25% of the overall tally. Meanwhile, deaths due to dengue fever is in Baguio City rose from 7 to 12. The city logs over 5,500 dengue cases, the highest in the city's history. Di ba dapat mag-declare na sila ng ano?
Meron na 'di ba sa we
Epidemic.
spoke to Iloilo State of Calamity.
Oh, I'm saying epidemic kasi hindi lang naman hindi siya localized eh. Lahat halos.
Yeah, but kasi for each LGU
meron silang proseso
may number
dyan eh.
I don't know about yung national count, but they count it by within the certain area how many people logged that specific disease or nagkasakit, have contracted that virus or bacteria. But then again, it's something we've been dealing with for more than 2 decades already. I remember nung 80s, I had dengue 4 times.
Oo nga, sabi
And
mo.
then not only I had a classmate also in grade school who died from dengue. So matagal na nangyayari to. What dumbfounds me is until now the government has still yet to come up with measures to prevent the outbreak, mosquitoes. Kasi alam naman natin when the dengue season is kung kailan maulan. Madaming mga water puddles sa mga barangay, hindi ba nalilinis to? Don't we fog places na alam natin mga
Fogging.
regular fogging sa places na alam natin na madaming cases of dengue, di ba?
Right.
And then what we continue to do is we continue to react. Hihintayin pa natin maging 10 or 20 cases, 30 before we procure new fogging machines, before we come up with protocols for cleaning the barangays. Why don't we prepare instead and proactively prevent things from happening or even lessen?
In Iloilo lang, di ba? 1,000 plus cases in a week. No, hindi maganda yung nangyayari.
I understand naman you cannot totally prevent it. Ang inaano ko lang sana is we be more prepared proactively. Huwag tayo mag-react na mag-react.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue with our countdown.
So talking about another sickness on our top 6, let's talk about this time the Mpox. Authorities admit challenges in contact tracing. Quezon City LGU says they are having difficulties in reaching out to all those who were in contact with a recent Mpox patient. They are calling on those who were told to isolate and undergo quarantine to strictly follow the order. According to authorities, all identified close contacts of the Mpox patients have not exhibited any symptoms of the disease so far.
Kasi hindi kompleto yung yung data ng ibang nasa 27 na list. Saka mali yung contact number. Initially na contact namin siya, tapos ngayon hindi na namin siya ma-contact. Hindi namin alam kung sinusunod nila at this time yung home quarantine. Ayaw lang nila makipag-usap kasi for whatever reasons.
Oo. Kasi nga hindi daw sila nakipag-coordinate. Mahirap yung ganyan pag hindi ka nakipag-coordinate. Baka hindi mo makontrol na yung pagkalat ng Mpox, diba? Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Still sizzling at the 5th spot is Senator Jinggoy Estrada. The Sandigan Bayan reversed its decision convicting the senator of direct and indirect bribery over the pork barrel scam. In a 26-page resolution, the Sandigan Bayan Special 5th Division said the prosecution did not prove that Estrada received 1 million pesos of bribe from convicted businesswoman Janet Napoles. Estrada welcomed this decision and insisted he is innocent from the accusations. Sandigan Bayan, however, upheld its conviction of Napoles for corruption of public officials. The court said the so-called pork barrel queen tried to bribe officials.
Okay, switching gears for our top 4. Vice President Sara Duterte has denied allegations of plagiarism. Duterte says it's easy to write a short story based on personal experience, so there's no need to copy. Netizens posted side-by-side pictures of Duterte's Isang Kaibigan and Auli authored by Andy Runton. Some have pointed out that both stories' plots involve birds living in or fixing a damaged tree. The Vice President maintains that the book aims to encourage children to read and write their own stories.
Sinasabi nga ng mga ibang mga children's book advocate, hindi naman, pag sinabi mong children's book, hindi yan necessarily na sasabihin mo na madali lang gawin. O madali lang isulat. Diba? Sinasabi nila, may proseso yan eh.
And there's a science behind it. It's because they have to be sensitive. These are kids.
The words that we use,
the messaging, the pictures.
Eh yun nga, dito, di ba sinasabi nila dito sa libro na to na ang storya kasi nawalan siya ng bahay, nasira dahil sa isang bagyo. So, ang assessment nila doon ay ito ay isang parang may pinagdaanan na trahedya, yung main character doon. And importante na nai-explain sa bata kung anong klaseng trahedya yun dahil may kaakibat na trauma din daw yun. So, this is something na hindi daw talaga basa-basa lang po pwedeng basahin ng mga bata. Kailangan may guidance ng magulang. Itong klase ng libro na ito.
Pero ano kasi, to talk about the issue mismo at hand, there's such a thing as what you call inspired by. Authors can write inspired by or inspiration, di ba? Ngayon, ang problema kasi, sa book daw na ito, hindi naman specify ni VP Sara na she was inspired by a certain book. Usually, other authors kasi derive material or theme from other books and they give credit sa preface nila or sa biography by saying, I was inspired by reading this book. So, VP Sara claims that this book that she wrote was originally hers. Ang problem dito lies in when you compare the two books, they're very similar in theme. Pwedeng hindi niya sinadyang kinopya or one time or another nabasa niya ito and then parang ang idea niya came out from that book, nasulat niya ito. So we don't know kung anong, but definitely good intentions, pero yung mode...
Pero sinabi nga niya sa kanya, on her defense, sabi niya, hindi daw ito plagiarize. At abangan niyo pa daw yung kanyang isusulat na isa pang libro ay tungkol naman sa betrayal.
Pero ang plagiarism kasi means you copy word for word and exactly the same theme and content
Hindi ko
on
pa
your
kasi
own
nabasa
and claim
yung
it
isa
as yours.
yung sinasabing original.
You can claim similarities, but definitely parang plagiarize, it doesn't seem like it. First of all, the language is different. Second, the way the story was presented, although similar, different in wording.
Yung sa ano kasi, yung sa kabila, supposedly yung original na pinagkopyahan allegedly, ay nasira yung puno. Diba? Pero parang dahil din sa bagyo, if I'm not mistaken.
Pero kasi ang dito is she used ang naging issue pondo ng gobyerno to write a book na where she claims that she wrote it. If she can do that naman if she wants to, pero ang sabi ng iba, sana she used her own money. Okay lang yun.
Totoo.
Okay lang yun. You can write it kahit similar pa, you can write it, basta yung pera mo yung ginamit. Kasi ang sinasabi ng ibang government officials, meron existing books within the system, educational system, that you could just resurface and pay less para i-recirculate mo. Instead of coming up with a new one na you have a big picture pa at the back. Yun ang problema nila.
Tapos yung sinasabi nga yan na magsusulat siya ng susunod na libro, siguro joke yun, pero kung hindi joke yun, susulat siya about betrayal, dapat ito, number one, hindi yan ang tawag dito, baka mamaya gagastusin na naman ng pera ng bayan. Kasi hindi ka naman po pwedeng gagawa-gawa ng mga libro based on, alam mo yun, yung gusto mo lang,
pero yung
diba?
Joke or no joke, diba? Si former President Rodrigo Duterte, sometimes joke, nagiging no joke, bumabalik sa joke. Diba? Hindi mo alam eh. Pagtakbo pa lang ng filing ni former President Duterte, remember?
Kasama na yun. So, yun nga, alam mo naman yung mga netizen natin, ang bibilis nila sa pagre-research about certain things na talagang interesado sila. And this topic, most especially is very interested ang mga netizen
at
natin. Kaya
dyan,
nakita nila yung di ba, pinapakita nila yung sa Canva.
Yung photo. Nakita sa Canva, yung photo is the same.
Ano yung sasabihin mo?
Wala na train of thoughts.
Nawala din ako sa iyo eh.
Ha?
Nawala din ako sa iyo.
Hindi, sasabihin ko lang sana dahil dyan, abangan ko yung next book ni VP Sara.
Gawa din kaya ako ng book tungkol sa asawang kinakat sa pagsasalita yung asawa.
Ingat ka sa word ng cut, ha? Hindi ako
interrupting pala. Mali pala. Tungkol sa asawang ini-interrupt magsalita yung isang asawa.
Wala akong balak mag-eunuch.
Tapos hihingi din ako ng budget sa gobyerno. Don't go away because we're not done yet.
May dalawa pa, stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Happy Friday to everyone. Kamusta na ang Friday news so far? Masarap ba ang pahinga? Di ba? Long weekend eh.
Gabriel Romero.
Jericho. Ano?
Max Day.
Salita ka ngayon.
Sarap eh.
Salita ka ngayon.
Sarap ng Buddha's bread.
Okay. Nakalunok na. Hindi ko na awayan.
Sige, let's continue with our countdown. Still hot at the third spot is Harry Roque. The former presidential spokesperson was cited in contempt by the Congress for supposedly lying to lawmakers. Roque told the House Quad Committee that he cannot attend the August 16 hearing due to conflict with a scheduled court hearing in Manila. However, a certificate from the Manila Regional Trial Court showed that Roque did not appear before any of its branches on the said date. Roque apologized for this and said it was an honest mistake. He is detained in the Batasang Pambansa complex for 24 hours. Roque is facing scrutiny over his supposed engagement as a lawyer for an illegal pogo hub.
Alam mo,
sorry.
nalulungkot ako sa mga kwentong ganito kasi from a noted human rights lawyer, di ba, who was involved with Mama Sapa, no ba? No, not Mama Sapa, sorry.
Yung kay Jennifer Laude and a lot of
No,
cases.
yung case sa journalist, yung mga na-massacre.
Yung kaila,
Ampatuan massacre. He was involved in that. He has a noted human rights defender decades back. And then now to see him at this situation after being the spokesperson of President Rodrigo Duterte when they were in power. Now, parang he is embattled, di ba? So I can't help but feel sad.
Diba sabi ko nga lagi, how tides have turned eh.
True.
Diba?
That's why, as much as possible, ang turo nila, when you're on top,
don't burn bridges.
Don't make enemies.
Oo.
Yung enemies mo, while you're on top, make them friends.
So are you saying during nung Duterte administration, he has made enemies?
Oh, yes. Every administration, you make enemies because you're of a different political political fence. The other side of the fence, di ba, kung pinikon mo ng pinikon at nag-aaway kayo because you have different beliefs and policies, eventually sa next administration, magbabawian yan.
Oo. So anyway, sinasabi nga niya, yung kanyang pinakadahilan dun sa kanyang pagsabi nga dun sa dapat aattend siya, tapos hindi dahil may court. Kasi diba, bilang naging miyembro din naman daw siya ng House of Representatives, usually daw kasi pag Friday, hindi na sila nagkakaroon ng hearing. Tapos Friday pala yun. So parang naisip daw niya, nawala sa isip niya, pagtingin niya, ay, Friday ko, wala pala. So akala niya may something like that.
Okay.
So yun ang kanyang reason. Pero, but then again, matinik si Congressman na Ron Salo kasi siya ang
nag-check sa Manila RTC.
Oo, siya nag-check doon sa docket ng court kung meron ba talagang hearing si attorney Harry Roque.
Sabi pa ni Harry Roque.
Oo, di ba? Si Congressman Salo, I think teacher niya, professor niya dati, itong si
Harry Roque.
Oo.
Ay,
Former
nako.
spokesperson Harry Roque.
Okay.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
Coming in at the top two inmates have tagged former President Rodrigo Duterte as the mastermind behind the killing of 3 Chinese drug lords. Leopoldo Tan Jr. and Fernando Magdadaro said they stabbed the victims upon the instruction of Superintendent Gerardo Padilla. Padilla then allegedly received a call from Duterte, congratulating him for a job well done. The duo admitted they were given 1 million pesos each, but complained that they were never granted the freedom promised to them. Duterte's former chief presidential legal counsel, Salvador Panelo, dismissed the allegations as mere demolition job. Ano nila yung 1 million na kulong sila?
Hindi. Para sa pamilya. Tapos sinabihan nga na sila ay, ang tawag dito, palalayain kung gagawin nila yung usapin. Kaya nga sinasabi nung iba, parang merely hearsay daw ito, di ba?
Because hindi man ikaw...
Wala naman siyang ebidensya na
Hindi ikaw-
talagang si former President Rodrigo Duterte is on the other line.
Hindi ikaw yung actual kumausap. Pero kasi for context lang, ang claim nitong dalawang na nagwi-witness, kilala daw niya yung boses ni Duterte. And then, narinig daw niya yung sinabi, parang congratulations, ganyan, di ba? And then, nung dumaan daw siya, nung yung superintendent was meeting with others already at nagsasalo-salo, nakwento daw ng superintendent na tinawagan daw siya ni PRRD at that time, congratulating him for a job well done. So kaya daw niya napagdikit na si PRRD ang actual na tumawag. Pero it's still hearsay because actually, tama ka, hindi mo nakausap.
Hindi mo nakausap eh, di ba?
Hindi mo nakausap
Tsaka wala
na-
kang ebidensya na siya talaga yun was on the other line.
Pero,
I can always claim na, uy, kausap ko si,
Yeah.
nakausap ko si Duterte today,
Tsaka
I
he
can
needs
always claim
to corroborate his statement with actual documents or physical evidence. If not, it's
that. Kaya tuloy sabi nila, demolition job.
no, if
po
not
ito.
pala, it's he said, she said.
Yes,
Oo,
kaya nga
di ba?
sabi nila baka demolition job.
Well, it's
Actually, yung conspiracy theory naman ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, sabi niya, ang administration daw na ito, ang Marcos administration is working with the lefties and the Liberal Party to bring the House of Duterte. Oh. Abangan natin ang susunod na kabanata dahil tignan natin kung tama ba yung hula ng ating mga brunchies kung sino ang nasa number 1 natin. Going back to our top spot is Alice Go. Authorities believe the dismissed mayor is still in Indonesia after her 2 companions were arrested and brought back to the country yesterday. Here's the report.
Before 5 p.m. yesterday, dismissed Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Go's sister Sheila Leal Go and business partner Cassandra Leong were back in the country. They were accompanied by authorities from the Bureau of Immigration and the National Bureau of Investigation. Sheila was put in a wheelchair while being accompanied to the bus after she felt dizzy. Indonesian authorities nabbed Sheila and Ong at Mega Mall Batam Center in the province of Riau on August 20. Go, however, was not with the 2 when they were arrested. Based on intelligence reports, Go, her sister, and Ong entered Jakarta via cruise ship. From the airport, Sheila and Ong were brought to the BI for inquest proceedings, immigration processing, and medical checkup. The Justice Department said Ong will face charges of obstruction of justice and violating the Passport Act. Meanwhile, Go's sister was charged with violation of the immigration law. The 2 are currently under NBI's custody. Ong's lawyer, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, questioned the basis of transferring the 2 to NBI. He argued that Ong should be detained in the Congress because of a contempt order against her.
Yun nga ang aming kinatataka kanina. Kasi sabi namin, wala naman silang warrant for any crime committed in the Philippines. Their warrants are legislative warrants issued under the power of the legislature to make inquiries in aid of legislation. So, yun nga po ang kine-question namin kanina. In my humble opinion, dapat talaga nag-take custody ang House of Representatives through the Sergeant at Arms. Ang problema, long weekend nagbakasyon na yata lahat ng mga kongresista natin So, nandito siya.
But the question remains, where is Alice Go? The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission or PAOC received a photo of Go in Kuala Lumpur International Airport on July 21. They said Go was on her way to Singapore when the photo was taken.
One of the individuals who was another Filipino who was on the same flight or another Filipino who was in the Kuala Lumpur International Airport was able to identify her and took a picture, and then it reached us. And we tried to our very best to verify the picture at nag-match po siya doon sa timeline.
Authorities believe that Go is still in Batam, Indonesia. Meanwhile, PAOK said her sibling Wesley has left Indonesia. They are currently working with their foreign counterparts to trigger Interpol's Blue Notice against Go. For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to talk to PAOK spokesperson Winston Casio. We're trying to get him on the line. Pero more than anything, what's important kasi with si Sara Go, what's her name?
Sheila
Go.
Leal Go.
And Cassandra Ong is also to corroborate yung accusations ng Senate nila, Senator Risa Ontiveros against former Mayor Alice Go para ipagbangga yung kwento. To
Kasi
finally,
supposedly, itong Sheila Leal Go, sabi niya, hindi niya kilala. Yung pala, sister niya.
It was
Nakakasama
mentioned
niya
kasi
sa
sa hearing,
travels.
sister daw niya, and hindi daw niya sister.
Oo.
Yung pala kasama. So, let's see ano yung magiging statement ng dalawa. And,
Si Cassandra Diego, si Cassandra yung supposedly
Ong,
kasama, Cassandra Leong ay kasama supposedly noon ni former spokesperson Harry Roque sa PAGCOR Naalala mo?
Yes.
Para tulungan, supposedly, yung sa payment doon sa issue nila doon sa
Parang
Lakisa.
referral lang ni
Yes, oo.
former spokesperson Attorney Harry Roque. Pero ang magiging kasi issue dito is moving forward, ano pa yung mga ibang cases na ipupukol sa kanila aside from yung legislative cases na sinasabi ng attorney
Yes.
ni Cassandra Ong na si Attorney Topacio.
Oo.
Pero
Grabe yung kahapon, no? Daming.
Oo, pero right now ata kasi the Sergeant at Arms ng Congress is preparing already to pick them up para i-detain sila. Magiging issue lang kasi is the Senate is also preparing yung mga warrants for
Kaya
them.
hiwalay
So,
sila muna, pero sinasabi ni Secretary Boying Remulla, ayusin natin yung proseso, 'di ba? Sa amin muna para magkaroon
NBI.
yung mga proseso sa NBI, etc., etc. Then you can pick them up after. Ang problema niyan ngayon kasi long holiday. So they will be detained there until open ata ang office, 'di ba? Dahil nga holiday, yung mga inquest proceedings, etc.
they'll be held muna sa NBI.
Oo, kaya nga sabi nung kanilang, actually si Attorney Topacio ay legal counsel
Ni Cassandra
Ong at may sariling lawyer itong si
Sara.
Sheila Go.
Si Sheila pala.
Just wondering pala,
Sheila Lial, go.
sino ba si Sara? Sara ka ng Sara.
Kara ko Sara, go.
Sheila Lialgo. Anyways, I was wondering pala, nakausap na kaya nila itong dalawa na ito? Tinanong na kaya nila kung nasaan ba talaga si Alice Go? Dahil talagang siya talagang importante na makita natin. And anong ginagawa nitong dalawa na ito sa isang mall that time that they were apprehended by the Indonesian authorities? Diba? And then meron din mga lumabas na photo, supposedly si Alice Go na nakatalikod, may dalang bag, yung kanyang pink bag, yung infamous pink bag niya. At saka meron siyang dalang paper bag as well.
Actually,
Diba?
kasi,
Nag-shopping ba siya?
Technically, hindi man sila banned from leaving the country because wala naman whole departure order.
Wala. Lookout bulletin
ang
lang.
magiging issue
Pero,
nila sa immigration kasi is they left the Philippines illegally.
Yes.
Through backdoor channels.
Nag-cruise ship sila eh.
Yeah, without passing through proper immigration protocols. Kasi kung dumaan sila sa proper protocols,
tsaka may may pending arrest sila for Senate.
Oo, pero I'm saying kasi wala,
si ano yun? Si Sheila Lialgo.
walang hold departure order, so they can leave. Ang problema kasi, they should have passed the proper channels para mag-trigger yung ILBO, yung lookout bulletin. The ILBO then will, from Bureau of Immigration, ibabato yan sa DOJ, and the DOJ will confirm with the other agencies, Senate and Congress, kung pwedeng palabasin and to monitor where they are. But technically, walang hold departure order. Yun lang nga, they evaded proper immigration procedures.
Exactly. And itong nangyari na to na nakita natin na magkasama to si Cassandra Ong at saka si Sheila Lialgo na supposedly kapatid nga ni Alice Go na may mga documents kasama nga rin nila si Alice Go. Makikita mo, pwede mo nang i-piece yung mga puzzles here.
Yes.
Na makikita mo, does this tell you na talagang ano yung connection ni Cassandra Ong dito sa
To all of this.
'di ba? Dito sa magkapatid na ito kay Mayor Alice Go or dismissed Alice Go, yung connection nito sa Pogo.
Parang ito yung sinasabi ni Winston na spokesperson na top of the food chain meron pang mas mataas.
Oo, 'di ba? Yung connection niyan, 'di ba? Connection ni Cassandra Ong kasama ang mga guwos, 'di ba? Ano yung connection nila sa illegal Pogo dito? And of course, ito bang pag-apprehend dito sa dalawa na ito ay ito ba ay kumbaga magti-trigger, magpupush kay Alice Go na sumuko na, or this would lead her talagang magtago na lang?
I think that all depends kung magkasalungat sila ng statement.
Yun ang ating aabangan.
All right, we're done with our countdown, but
Marami pa tayong oras, ha?
No, yeah. Don't worry, guys. We're done with our countdown. Hindi ko sinabi tapos ang brunch because we still have our brunch break. We have a very, very special guest with us. Naku, alam mo niyo kung sino yung super special guest na yan. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. And if
Close
you're
tayo.
wondering why Angel and I are in a two-shot together, every time this happens po, every Friday, there is someone special beside us.
Of course.
Of course. And we are joined today, Angel, by...
Yeah, after diving into the day's top headlines, we are now having a brunch break. And we are joined today by Jessica Cox, the world's first female armless pilot, motivational speaker, black belter, all in one.
You name it.
You name it.
You name it.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us,
Good
Jessica.
morning. Good to be on.
Thank
How are
you.
you?
Good. Just, getting over jet lag, enjoying all the eating that I've been doing.
Welcome to the Philippines. Thank you very much for joining us. But let's get right to it. Your mother is a Filipina. Of course, we'd like to ask, what was your upbringing like? Did you grow up knowing more about your roots?
It was just like growing up in the Philippines, but in the U.S. Everything was, eating rice every day, and all of the traditions of the Filipino upbringing were instilled in us. And I say us because I have a brother and a sister, and together we all grew up that way and always had the traditions and went and just everything that they do here in the Philippines. So,
So I've seen a lot of pictures, videos of you, in an airplane, and yun nga, you were such a famous armless pilot. When did you decide that you want to become a pilot?
I was actually terrified of flying, but the Filipino spirit, keep going and don't be afraid.
Yes.
And my mom was an example for me that don't let anything hold you back.
Right.
And even though I was scared of losing contact with the ground, I wanted to conquer the fear. And here we are. I'm now a pilot.
How old were you when you had an inkling that you wanted to be a pilot?
Oh, it wasn't until I was in my 20s. So it wasn't anything like a childhood dream. I wanted to conquer all the labels of being called handicapped, and I didn't like that. And that's why I always say it's not politically correct to use those words.
Yeah.
But instead,
It should be differently abled, right?
yeah, well, every disability group has a different term for it. I know in the U.S. they say disability, but here in the Philippines, I like that it's PWD, person with disability, because you recognize the person first. Because after all, we're people first before the label.
Of course, of course.
Exactly.
Of course, I'd like to ask, of course, even for most people, it's difficult to be a pilot. And what were the challenges you faced? Were you encouraged more by your trainers? Was it a little bit more difficult?
It was definitely difficult because no one had ever done this before.
Yes.
But these are the stories I share when I speak to audiences all over the world.
Yes.
Is it was really about breaking it down into little steps. First of all, I had to convince an instructor. Then I had to figure out how to buckle the seatbelt and put on my headset and some of those physical things.
Yeah.
But if you break it down into smaller pieces, it made the overall intimidating task of flying a plane a lot more doable. And I have to say I appreciate my community of aviators, those who encouraged me, of course my family who was there all along, and to be able to do something that in my mind is even incredible.
Right.
Even now, after flying over 10 years, I'm still astonished by it. It's an incredible feat to fly a plane without any help in the sky, thousands of feet up, and be able to do that by myself in an unmodified airplane.
Exactly. You've done so many things more than an able body can do. And I was thinking, what's our excuse, right? But I was wondering, aside from being an armless pilot, you also have a title in black belt, in ATA martial arts rather, and you are also a motivational speaker. Right? You've traveled around the world for that, and I was wondering what led you down to go that road.
Well, actually, I was terrified of being in front of a lot of people. As a 6-year-old child,
Really?
I went into tap dance lessons, and my mom brought me there to kind of overcome my shyness. And I had a taste of the stage on my first dance recital, and I could not get enough. And it became this process of just getting on stage when I could, not to be ashamed of my difference, but to show the world that disability doesn't mean inability, and just doing more and more. And here I am in front of thousands of people. The largest audience I've spoken to is like 40,000 people.
Wow.
And
Wow.
but that was a virtual one during the pandemic. But I have spoken to large 8,000 to 10,000 arenas. And it has been such a gift, such a blessing to be able to show the world that if I can do this, what's holding anyone back from achieving their dreams.
So you've achieved so much through the years. Most of us have followed your story here in the Philippines. So we've seen all the things that you've been doing. What a lot of them are asking, what is now next for Jessica? What is the next thing you are going to conquer?
And I'm glad you asked the question because I'm here also in hopes of getting supporters for the impossible airplane.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that.
Tell
Yes.
us more about it.
The first airplane in aviation history that we are building that can be flown with feet alone. It'll
okay.
be modified, unlike the plane I've been flying for over a decade, which is not modified.
Yes.
It's just a standard plane. This plane will be a four-seater, modified airplane so that I can fly for longer distances, and one in which I can even come here to the Philippines.
So you
over
fly
the
yourself?
ocean. I would be able to fly and land here, and wouldn't that be the day? Landing
Yeah.
in Manila Airport.
Yeah.
So I read a lot about the impossible airplane. Just for context for people like me who don't know much about aviation,
Oh, yeah, yes.
I'd like to ask you, how long can you fly in a regular airplane as compared to you think in the impossible airplane will give you more hours?
I'm so glad you brought that question up because people are wondering probably what's the difference.
Yeah.
Well, the plane I've been flying for over a decade is a very limited plane, meaning I put my feet where most people have their hands on the controls.
Oh, okay, okay.
And because of the awkward positioning, I only fly about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
2 hours max in a safe way without getting cramps,
okay.
without my feet falling asleep on the, you
Yes,
know?
yes.
But now with this modified plane by the engineers, it will allow me to keep my feet on the floor. And then with my feet on the floor, I can fly it for as long as the fuel will last.
And
in
be
the airplane.
comfortable as much as
And
possible.
be as comfortable for long endurance flying. It cruises, about 200 miles per hour. So what would that be here? And basically convert that. And,
Yes, yes.
And so for me, it's going to mean a world of difference. It's going to allow me to fly children with disabilities in the back seat. So inspiring them, forever
Right.
changing their perception of what's
Yeah.
possible in their life. And it's going to be exciting. And we want to fly it over the Olympic Games in 2028.
I heard about that for the opening. But you know,
But where are you now in that project?
Well,
If your goal
we
is to fly
are-
it on the
Yes.
2028 Olympics.
It's an ambitious goal because
Yeah.
that's 4 years from now. So
Yes.
we all just enjoy the Olympic Games. We are still building it. We have the tail finished. The wings were manufactured right here
I
in
heard.
the Philippines.
And you came here to look for them? Did you?
I know the company, the Kit Airplane
Yeah.
company has a manufacturer.
Okay.
So they were sent to us in a crate on a ship. And so we have the wings, but now we have to finish the fuselage and also the modifications for it. And it's about, still about a year and a half, 2 years away from completion. And then once we do that, we have to test out the plane, make sure
Right.
it's safe, make sure the modifications are safe because these are the first of its kind.
Yes.
And then be able to fly it to different places. I have to get hours in that airplane.
Okay.
How much will
able to
this
fly.
cost?
Oh, this is ambitious. It's going to cost us. I calculated the dollars, but I need you to translate to pesos because it's
You will
about.
translate it.
Oh, you're the math
You,
guy.
yeah. You will convert it. Okay.
So 200,000 US is what the project
So
is.
around 12 million, right? 12 million. 12 million. Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But what kind of an airplane is this? We're familiar with like Cessnas and other
Yes.
private jets. But what kind of an airplane will this be like?
So this airplane is going to be a four-seater. So similar to some Cessnas that you see.
Yeah.
There are little airports around here. They're all over the Philippines. So it has a low wing. So wings, single engine, and it will have 2 doors. And then you just hop into the airplane. And it has, like I said, we can take a max of 3 people. It'll be myself, 3.
And 3 other passengers. Yeah.
Yes, 3
Yeah.
others. Or for now, I'm going to use a safety pilot until I feel completely confident in the
Yes.
airplane. And we, fly for about 3.5, 4 hours until we need more fuel, land, and then do it again.
Yeah.
And I heard that one of your goals for this project as well is to encourage others as well to push through with their passions. Do you encourage more to hopefully be a pilot like you? And would you be open to mass producing this kind of an
Yeah,
airplane for
impossible.
others?
Wow.
Because you've inspired so many. I'm sure out of that, a lot of them would like to be like you.
Well, ultimately, the goal and the why behind the project is to bring that message out that disability doesn't mean inability, encouraging others and also those who support those with disabilities
Yeah.
that they can accomplish great things.
Right.
That's the
That's right, that's
ultimate
right, that's right.
message. And who knows? I think that's looking down definitely into the future of how we can make this even bigger than one airplane. It's the
Right.
message that we're
That's
taking
right, that's right.
as a flying billboard around the world and inspiring and encouraging that inclusion of people with disabilities, seeing
That's
that
right.
they have the same possibilities and definitely
Nothing
getting
is impossible.
nothing is impossible.
And maybe one day calling it, instead of impossible plane, it's
The possible
possible
plane.
plane.
Exactly. Right now it's the impossible plane, but if you break down impossible, it's I'm
Possible.
Possible.
Oh, that's nice. That's right. That's right. That's right.
But earlier you mentioned that you're here to look for support for your project. I was wondering, where will you get the funding?
Yeah, are you in touch with several Filipino?
That's what we hope to do, and we know that this is representing the Filipino spirit around the world. When we're finished, this project is huge, and it's going to need supporters. So we are reaching out to those who want to be involved in helping make this a reality. And so we do reach out. We would like to speak to all your listeners, and those are your viewers who may be interested in taking part, to go reach out to us through the impossibleairplane.com.
There you go. The impossibleairplane.com. That's how they can get in touch with you.
That's how they can get in
Okay,
touch.
Okay.
Yes,
And all the information they need to know about the project and its goals is all there.
exactly.
Okay, okay.
You mentioned also earlier the support that you were given by your family, your friends, with all of the things that you have done, all the things that you have achieved. Maybe you can also give advice or message to all the parents out there who have children with disability.
Thank you for asking that, because obviously that is part of our mission, is to reach the parents. Because here in the Philippines, the family is everything, and parents are the voice
Right.
of those younger, powerless children who may not have a voice for themselves. So to all those, should I look at the camera here? Okay.
There you
go.
Okay, there's
There you
the camera. To all the parents here of children with disabilities, I want to encourage you to continue to support your children. Give them the tough love so that they can find their own independence. Empower them, but don't coddle them too much, because there's no telling what they can achieve when they're given the opportunity to find a way in their life how to succeed, to find their own independence, and continue to give them that affirmation and support and love that the wonderful Filipino families have here. And I feel so fortunate and blessed that my mother gave to me, now that I'm giving this to the rest of the world. So good luck, and continue to encourage them.
Yeah, very
Such
well said.
very inspiring, very well said, very inspiring as
Yeah.
always.
With that, we would like to thank you so much for joining us today. It's truly an honor
Yes.
that we have you here on our show, and we will see you again soon.
Hope so. Yes. Are you going to fly with me one day?
Yeah, I hope so. We could join you.
Yes.
Please join me in the plane when it's finished.
Thank you
Right.
very much. That was Jessica Cox, the world's first female armless pilot. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Salamat.
Oh, maraming salamat. And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Before anything else, we would
Buddha's
like to thank
Belly.
Buddha's Belly
Yeah,
first for sending over this yummy food. Later on, we will share it with Jessica. But
It's
join
calories.
us again. Join us again on Monday. I'm Angela Lagunzad-Castro. And
Go
you
ahead,
are
go ahead.
Angelo Castro III. We are One News, all sides, all the time.